The Silent Scream is an ultrasound film from 1984 showing what an abortion actually is and how an unborn baby of 11 weeks reacts as it's killed, frankly. Now, this profoundly important film has been banned by mainstream media for more than, 25 years. We're not here, not on Sun News. My guest is a pro-lifer, Rebecca Richmond. Welcome to you.
Thank you very much.
You work for?
I work for National Campus Life Network, so we work with the pro-life university groups across the country, educate them, network them, support them, help them spread the pro-life message in an environment that needs it very desperately. You
know, part of me says this is not actually about the abortion issue even, it's about freedom. You can be pro-life or pro-choice. You should be able to have access to documentaries, to material that supports or not your cause. This movie, the Silent Scream, has been, it's been banned. People have lied about it. Just to give some context, Bernard Nathanson was the doyen, the hero of the abortion movement in the United States. He aborted any number of babies, including, I think, his own baby.
I think he claimed about 75,000, responsibility for 75,000 abortions.
Oh, when he, though, saw an ultrasound, and it's a relatively new technology, he changed and he became, first of all, he simply wouldn't perform abortions anymore, and then he became a pro-life activist.
That's right.
So this is, what we're going to see in a few moments' time is he was responsible for this footage, and he narrates it. And you know, we've promoted this, and already people are saying, oh, it's a fraud, it's not true, it's all fabricated. It's very interesting how this man, who was a hero to them, when he changed his mind on the issue, was a fraud and he wasn't reliable. But he was quite open. What I did in the past, he said, was wrong. I've changed my mind. I've got to show people what it's really like.
With so much invested in the issue, why would he want to doctor the very evidence that helped convince him of the pro-life position about the truth of that? It doesn't make any sense.
That's a good point, because it makes him, I suppose, responsible, morally, almost criminally, for the deaths of so many babies. He was an incredibly wealthy man. He was respected, toasted throughout American society, and he became a public enemy almost when he changed his mind on the issue. So this argument that I've even heard that there's bits of thread, of cotton attached to some of the limbs of the baby, so when it seems to move away from the instrument, killing it, ending its life, that's all people outside doing this. That's what I've heard. It's like a puppet.
Well, like I said, the evidence convicted him so strongly to leave everything he stood for, to leave his livelihood and his career behind. So why would he want to change the evidence? And we've continued to see the relevance of ultrasound technology today. I mean, Abby Johnson in 2009 left Planned Parenthood. She was the director of a Texas clinic there. She was responsible for counseling women and helping them get abortions. And she had to assist with an ultrasound-guided abortion. And what she saw on that screen, it sounds exactly the same as what we'll see in the Silent Scream, that baby fighting to get away. And after that, she had to resign, she had to quit. She's now a pro-life advocate.
Okay, I should do a bit to camera here, I suppose, if I can... Look, what you're about to see is disturbing, and it should be, but I hope I'm a responsible person, and if you'd rather not see it, if there are younger people in the room, it's entirely up to you. So I've given you a few moments here to make that choice, and I'm always being told that I'm wrong to be pro-life. I should give people choice. I do believe in choice. I just think that the right to life is pretty fundamental, and woman can do what she wants with her body, but no one can do what they want with someone else's body. So we're going to show about 1:20 here of some of this movie, The Silent Scream. You'll hear it narrated by Dr. Bernard Nathanson, who was the leading abortionist, who really introduced abortion wide-scale in the United States, who then, after seeing this footage, changed his mind and became an activist fighting against abortion. So we're going to show that now.
The child is now moving in a much more purposeful manner. Its orientation changes from time to time. It is rearing again here. Now, the suction tip has not actually touched the child, even though the child is extremely agitated and moving in a violent manner. The child has now moved back to the profile view, and the suction tip is flashing once again across the screen. The child's mouth is now open, and we will see that again on a freeze frame in a moment. But this suction tip, which you can see moving violently back and forth on the bottom of the screen, is the lethal instrument which will ultimately tear apart and destroy the child. It is only after the fluid has been broken, the sac has been disrupted, that the tip will actually come against the child. But we can see the tip moving back and forth as the abortionist seeks the child's body. Once again, we see the child's mouth wide open in a silent scream in this particular freeze frame. This is the silent scream of a child threatened imminently with extinction.
I mean, just putting aside the issues, just common sense. Why would this man who had made financially a fortune, who was respected, award-winning, we love you, doctor, for all the abortions you've performed, why would he become part of a minority community that's often besieged and spat at and abused if he didn't say, what I did was wrong, I shouldn't have done it? It just doesn't make any sense at all.
Exactly. And the technology at the time was relatively new. That when he was going to med school, they didn't have fetology, they didn't have ultrasound technology. Yeah. But we've had it ever since, and yet we still are claiming that the unborn aren't human, they're a product of pregnancy, when really, if you look at any science textbook, it clearly shows the development of that child, and there's no fundamental differences between that child in utero and after birth.
Okay. Now, we haven't mentioned religion. We're not going to mention religion because whenever abortion is discussed, it tends to be the pro-choice side. And I'm being kind by using that phraseology, who say, oh, religion. Put religion aside. I mean, Nathanson later became a Roman Catholic, but all this was long before he ever even thought about organized religion in any way. It's not about religion, it's about science. I'm not a scientist, but I'm trying to find an alternative for the beginning of human life. It seems to me that at the point of conception, the baby has a unique DNA and genomic character. It's unique. There's no other life like it, never will be, never has been. So it's life. It is an independent. I mean, it doesn't look like me, but that's to its benefit, of course. But it doesn't look like an adult, but then I suppose a 2-year-old doesn't like a 12-year-old, and a 12-year-old doesn't like a 25-year-old. But we have the power to expunge it, to eliminate it, don't we?
Exactly. We're creating these different categories of person and non-person, and we're drawing the line at birth when there's really nothing logical that happens at birth. It's a couple inches down the birth canal, and all of a sudden we're giving it rights. There's nothing fundamentally different about that child except its location. And since when do we give someone's rights based on their location?
Yeah. And now, of course, we have gender-specific abortions. So if it's a female unborn child, I mean, you're most at risk if you're female, handicapped, or of color.
Exactly.
Which, again, is rather ironic in that the left keeps saying it's about the rights of a woman. Now, people will be very angry that we've even done this, but I'll say to those people, for years and years now, one side of the argument has been allowed and presented on TV. We've presented another. I'm more than happy to have people on, if they'll come on, to give their point of view and oppose me, and we can discuss this in an enlightened way. Not arrest me, as tends to happen to people who peacefully protest outside abortion clinics and so on. But we've shown the movie, and what happens next? I don't know. Will I get home tonight? Will the Human Rights Commission attack me? Will the NDP come and say, you're a very, very naughty boy?
Well, we encounter the same problems at the university environment too, because at the university, the pro-choice ideology is dominant. I mean, you have the women's resource centers, you have the student unions, many of them are explicitly pro-choice. That's in their policies, that's in their governing structure. You have even some administrations that are taking a side on this issue, and the pro-lifers are just trying to present that alternative, those other options, that counterposition.
You're doing a great job of it. I mean that. Honestly, thank you so very much indeed.
Thank you.